Hello and welcome to the Voyage in the end of another fabulous year. Well, while we're all readying our boats for a summer of Christmas holiday boating, we thought that we'd take a minute to reflect on what has been a busy year for the Princess Yachts Australia team, which really started in Dusseldorf, of all places. In January of 2023, the largest boat show in the world under roof was a must visit for the Princess Yachts Australia team for the launch of the spectacular Princess S72. A plethora of new Princess yachts on hard stands inside and snow coming down outside makes this one of the more unusual boat shows on the international calendar. Dusseldorf, Greg, unusual location, but really big for the Princess brand.
It's one of their biggest shows in Europe, and it's quite different because it's an indoor boat show in the middle of winter in Germany.
Okay, what, preparing everyone for the summer?
Yeah, well, all the dealers and distributors from Europe come to that show, and it's only an hour's plane ride from pretty much anywhere in Europe. So in 2024, I'm planning on going to Dusseldorf again. They've got an 8-boat display with boats up to 95 feet indoors, which is different.
It is different, isn't it?
I'm going to go there to meet up with the guys from the factory and talk to other distributors and see what they're doing, and also to see what new product that the factory has brought out.
And it no doubt makes you excited about the year ahead?
It does. You get very excited on the new stuff. You're talking to the distributors about what they've done and what they're doing, and it's a great show to go to.
Going back to the 2023 show, what was unveiled?
So they launched the new Princess S72, which is a beautiful boat, quite amazing, and we've had really good interest in their boat locally. They also had boats that I hadn't seen before, which are the Ep60 and the X80, and a good roundup of all the product they have.
And do you think they'll really suit our boating lifestyle here in Australia?
Absolutely. I think the X80 being an enclosed bridge boat is something different for Princess, but I think it's got a really good market here. Now there's a lot of expedition style boats around on the market here, but the difference with the Princess is, apart from the finish and the quality, is they're a fast displacement boat. So they'll do 25, 26 knots, whereas most of the boats in that range will only do 16 knots. So a little bit different, and I think it'd be good for our market.
There was a fair bit of travel for you as well, popping over the UK.
Yes, so this year I went from Dusseldorf to Plymouth to the factory, saw what boats we had in production, and even sea trialled some of the boats we had coming. Then we went to what they call the Ropery, which is a heritage listed building that's a mile long, 4 stories tall, where they do all the mock-ups. So I got to see the mock-ups of what's coming over the next 18 months, 2 years. So I went on board the new S65, which we'll see released next year, and also the new S80, which will be released next year. And I had a quick look at the Y80, which was released this year, but it was in early stages of production. So it's a fantastic facility to go through. Do you have to swap your hats between boat owner and lover, and then the business Greg? You'd be like a little boy in a candy store, wouldn't you? Oh, it's quite amazing because I'm a boat builder. So I go in there and I look at the boats and how they're being built, and I'm like, oh, that's amazing how they're doing that.
Both the Princess Y72 and the V55 were delivered to Australia a month or so after, and the Princess Yachts Australia team were on hand for their arrival. The excitement of boating for new boat owners really begins when the boat arrives via a ship here in Australia. Why is it important for you to be there?
Well, one of the things we do is we send the tracking details of the boat to the owners, so they actually watch it coming around the world. And then we send a video when the boat comes off the ship. So we go to the boat, we get on a little putt-putt that can, if we had any issues, we can tow it off from the crane. But every time we pull the boat off a ship, all we do is go down, turn the batteries on, turn on some valves, make sure everything fires the boat up, and then we just drive out of the slings. If it's a V-class, it's really easy because the boat's been checked for quarantine on the dock. The flybridge boats that come off a container ship, we have to take those down to Rivergate, wait for the quarantine inspection. And then it's great, brand new boat cruising down the Gold Coast to come to our home at Sacred Cove and commission the boat. Literally pulling plastic off things as you bring it in. Yeah, well, that's a part of the trip down. We've got pulling things apart and getting things ready. Once they get to Sacred Cove, we take them to the boat works and then we pull them out of the water. And then we do all the final commissioning. And there's sometimes a lot of things that our clients like to add in Australia, like we put, Starling or Foxtel or those type of things on the boats and make that boat really their own boat. They say timing is everything, and that was the case for the arrival of these vessels. In just a matter of weeks, they were making their own boat show appearances, this time in May at the 2023 Sanctuary Cove International Boat Show.
There were 6 boats on display this year for Princess Yachts' home show, with the new arrivals taking pride of place on the Princess stand. It was particularly exciting this year for you unloading a couple of boats because they came straight in here to Sanctuary Cove for skips.
It was, when we first started, we actually unloaded this boat, and they had to pull the boat show apart so we could get the boat in. So this year we had a few more weeks up our hands, but 2 of the boats we unloaded, the Y72 and the V55, were actually boats we had for skips. So getting those boats off the ship and getting them down here and getting them ready was amazing.
As if you need any more anticipation or nerves when you're preparing for a show of that size. I mean, this year was probably the biggest and best you've done yet.
It was amazing. We had 6 boats on display this year, 4 of the V class and 1 of the F and 1 of the Y class. So from 40 feet up to 72 feet.
Yeah.
So response was amazing.
Oh, it always is, Greg, because of the events as well that you put on. They're so exclusive and they're so enjoyable.
Well, we had an owners lounge, which we do every year, and that's exclusive for Princess owners, and they can go in there any time of the day. They can have a coffee and a pastry, or a dozen oysters and sashimi and a glass of Veuve Clicquot, or we had Peroni on tap. So that's quite great for the clients. And then every year on the Friday night, we have an exclusive owners event, which we do with one of our event partners, which is Bentley Motorcars.
Yeah.
So we had Sheba that was there and singing, we had dancers, and we had
unreal.
champagne flowing, and it was a really, really good night. Everyone enjoyed it.
Does the Princess team love that event as well?
They do. So we have quite a few of the guys from the factory coming out. So
yeah, they don't seem to miss that one, do they?
They don't. That's one of their favourite shows in the world, if you
course.
ask them. So Will Green, who's now the CEO, he came out, and Adam Essex, our regional manager. So they just love that show, and they just love the hospitality we put on, and that it shows that we're very enthusiastic about the brands, and our clients love what we do for the brand and for them as a family.
As the year rolled on, we profiled the Y72 and an F55 on an episode of The Voyage where we were met with spectacular glass-out conditions on Moreton Bay. Ah, yes, these are the days we live for. Bliss. Tell us about the day on the bay.
Oh, that was an amazing day. So we went out with some clients of ours, Michael and Carly, and their 2 sons are Ethan and Harvey. And their boys are the same age as ours, which was great. So we said, during the school holidays, let's just do something. We'll go boating.
Yeah.
So we went across to Tangalooma. We had the glamour day, glassed out all across there, up to Mooloolaba for a couple of nights and back to Tangalooma. And it was just an amazing trip. Asher and Quinton loved it. We actually sent the 2 older boys who are in their 7s. We said, there's a sandbank over there. Here's a walkie-talkie.
Go be free.
Yeah. So they walked around for an hour. We said, as long you've got to be able to see the boat,
Yeah.
and we could talk to them with the walkie-talkie. So it was a really good adventure for them. And that now, every time we go boating together, that's what they want to do.
Princess Yachts Australia flew the flag again at the annual Sydney Boat Show in August. Many of our southern-based owners joined us over a sunny few days and weekend at Darling Harbour. The Sydney show leads into a particularly busy time for the Princess Yachts team as we start planning our annual trip north due to depart in late August. This year, 11 vessels made the 600 nautical mile journey, stopping in at some remarkable anchorages along the way. Year after year, the trip north, just those words, trip north, just seems to spark so much excitement among the owners.
It does. Like this year we had 11 boats. You've got to understand there's a lot of planning that goes into this. So this year we left the Gold Coast, some got on a Mooloolaba. We thought we'd do something different. We went into Noosa. We anchored in Laguna Bay in Noosa for lunch, and then the reason for that was we had to have the timing right to cross Wide Bay Bar and to get over the Sheridan Flats before the tide dropped. So the next day we just hung around inside Fraser Island in the Great Sandy Straits. And then the next day we went into Bundaberg, we went for a great meal at the pub, and then out to Musgrave. Then back to Yeppoon, and then some of us stayed in Musgrave because the weather was just amazing. A full glass out.
Which, I mean, to jag that is unreal.
Yeah, it was beautiful out there. We went on our boat. We went fishing for the day and took the boys because some of our service guys came out, did the trip north with us this year, into Yeppoon, and then we basically from Yeppoon we went straight to Hamilton Island, and then our clients just spent 2 or 3 weeks on their boats at Hamilton Island, and it's a beautiful part of the world.
For some, it's back to reality after this amazing Great Barrier Reef expedition. But for others, extended stays with family and friends is on the cards. The Whitsundays is surely one of the world's great recreational cruising grounds and perfect for princesses. During the September school holidays, it's time for our annual 5-day gathering at Hayman Island. Now in its 5th year, the annual Princess Yachts Australia rendezvous started with gifts on the dock and smiles all round as old acquaintances were made new again. Well, just when you think it could not get any better, you seem to raise the bar, and that is the Hayman Island rendezvous.
It is. We added a day this year, so which made it amazing, because on the last day, which was generally a bit of a rush, it was quite a chill day. Everyone had a few drinks and a beautiful lunch, and then out came the toys, and we're playing, cricket on the beach, and all the kids are running around. It was a great way to end up 5 days at Hayman Island.
And you have done it for quite a few years now, but the owners just seem to absolutely love it. What do you think they love about it?
I think there's a bit of variety. I mean, there's one thing we always do, which is our long lunch on Whitehaven, which is sort of the pinnacle.
Spectacular. Yeah.
And we change that up a little bit from time to time to see what we can do a little bit differently. Hayman Island is amazing for families because you can take the kids to the pools, and there's not everyone in the pools.
And it's safe.
Yeah, it is, and there's restaurants everywhere. So you can stay on your boat in the marina, or you can stay in the facilities at Hayman Island Intercontinental. So you've got a choice, and it's just an amazing place to do what we do. And Princess is all about family, friends, and the finer things. And we're in a 5-star resort that's very exclusive. So that's what our customers love.
Formal dinners, cocktail parties, beach barbecues, and casual catch-ups were the order of the day this year, with some very special guests playing on our opening night. I love too that in your planning meetings, you're always trying to think about how we can make it better than the year before. And this time, part of that was sneaking in 2 blokes who happen to be your best mates, who also happen to be a pretty successful and brilliant duo. Yeah,
so we've got some Tom and Jeremy we've been friends with for quite some time, and we've been talking back and forth on how we get them involved in something with Princess. And then, we're sitting there one day and we said, well, why don't you come to Hayman? So, Aria band come to Hayman Island and sing.
Busby Maru, that is, shall we say. Yeah.
So they came up and did our gala dinner for this year, and it was quite amazing that we had a different singer up there, and then they got up and sang, and I just looked around the room, and everyone's just jaws dropped.
Captivated.
It was amazing. Yeah.
And they didn't just pop up and sing 4 songs, they were up for 4 hours.
Yeah. And then they came to Whitehaven Beach with us and did acoustic set on Whitehaven Beach.
When you don't need to worry, there'll be days like this. No one's in a hurry, there'll be days like this. And you don't get betrayed by the road.
For me, that was a pinch yourself moment. How am I eating magnificent seafood on one of the most stunning beaches in the world with such beautiful people around me, and then Busby Maru performing a foot away? It was extraordinary.
Yeah, that's what the customers said, and some of all of our suppliers that did the trip up with us and had come to Hayman to support us, they were on the beach just going, oh my God, this is just next level.
Yeah, tough on you to then top it next year though, Greg.
It's going to be. We've got some ideas.
Well, 2023, not bad, hey? But if you can see yourself in this picture, then be sure to have a chat with Greg and the team at Princess Yachts Australia. They will promise to point you in the right direction. We have a very big year planned for the Voyage next year, with plans afoot already for trips to Sydney and WA. We're excited, we cannot wait. But for now, from all of us to all of you, have a very happy and safe holiday period. And don't forget, enjoy those boats. We'll see you soon.